Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Wednesday, July 22nd. I am Khalil Cato with the details. It is official. Sandals Resorts International has taken over the now defunct Bookament Bay Resort, which closed its doors due to financial problems. An official signing ceremony of the agreement between Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and Deputy Chair of Sandals International Adam Stewart took place today at the Bookament Bay Resort. At the ceremony, Stewart noted the importance of tourism in the Caribbean and worldwide and said Sandals International will help boost SVG's tourism product. Sandals Resorts is a well-known chain hotel brand with several hotel chains throughout the region, and this country is expected to be the 8th island which the brand operates in with 330 suites. Stewart gave the assurance their international hotel brand will work hard to make SVG their hottest new destination.
And I want to give the assurance, firstly, to your government and to your people, that we are going to make sure that the world knows everything that they need to know about St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the beauty of what it is that is your country. I commit today to move swiftly, to bring our team back down here as soon as we are able to spend the kind of time we need to imagine, to create what we call the sandalization process. What we are going to do here is going to look a lot different to what you're seeing today. It'll be transformative. It'll be inclusive. We will work with manufacturing, the taxi drivers, the entertainment industry, agriculture, the hardware stores, retail, and just about every sector within this country through our linkages program, and ensure that we play our rightful part. But I want you all to put on your seatbelts. You may have a minute or two to put them on, but put them on. Get ready, because the next new hottest destination, not just in the Caribbean, but this side of the hemisphere, is going to be the beautiful, amazing islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The Sandals International Deputy Chair considers the investment in SVG a worthwhile venture.
We're going through a pandemic right now. There's still an amazing amount of insecurity that's out there. But never before in time has anything lasted forever. We are looking at this investment and this partnership with your government and your country through a future lens. A lens that is bright. A lens that says that the curiosity of travel is about energy. It's about how it makes you feel. It's about the richness of the culture of this country and about the Caribbean. It's about how we make one another feel welcome. And my company right now believes that the safest thing that we can do for the existing 14,000 team members of Sandals Resorts International is to look to the future and to create a better tomorrow than the momentary pause that we're going through of insecurity today.
Stewart took the opportunity to thank Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camilo Gonsalves for his persistence, which led to today's signing ceremony.
And most importantly, the future of the 14,000 team members, which this investment alone will take us to 15,000 team members of Caribbean nationals that are going to do something mind-blowing. So Prime Minister, thank you so much for everything. A special shout out to my compadre Camilo Gonsalves, that has been hand in hand, steadfast, and even when I was distracted in Barbados and doing other things, stayed in touch. Camilo, I don't know that we would be here today if you hadn't written that letter in July of 2016. So 4+ years in the making, almost to the date. Almost to the date. Hats off. And you stop me on the side of the road and you say, you have to drink a beer, man. You can't come here and drink a beer. And the two of us sat on a wall, drank a beer, and here we are today. So we are proud, we are excited, and thank you so much for the love and the support. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we will not let you down. Thank you.
A brand name hotel such as Sandals Resort bodes well for the promotion of Destination SVG. So says Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Tourism Authority, Glenn Beach, as he spoke at today's signing ceremony at the Bookament Bay Resort. The Sandals brand is one of several international brands which are building hotels here. Beach said the development of the hotel sector shows exactly what the development of SVG looks like.
of the Vincentian public have been waiting for something like this. We have spoken about this over the years. Invest SVG has been working on it constantly. And to have and bring name brand properties to St. Vincent and the Grenadines will only help the country in terms of promoting our tourism product. We are speaking about a property that will have approximately 350 rooms, employing over approximately 1,000 people, as Adam said. We have spoken about other developments that are coming on stream. Some of you have seen the preliminary designs for other properties, the Holiday Inn, the Marriott. And I remember some time ago, Camilo gave a speech in where you could tell our age because he gave something and he spoke about the A-team. At the end of the A-team, Hannibal, the head of the A-team, would always say, I love when a plan comes together.
The Tourism Authority CEO said the increased room stock will create opportunities within the tourism sector on a whole and highlighted some of the continued growth the sector enjoys.
One of the things that it does for me the most in my job as CEO of the Tourism Authority, it gives me something else to tell the airlines in terms of why they should come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are unique in terms of that this year, before the pandemic took place, St. Vincent and the Grenadines was about to have a bumpy year in tourism. In 2001, we used to get approximately, I think it was 70,000 cruise ship passengers. Last year, we got over 320,000 cruise ship passengers. Our figures in stayovers in 2001 used to be somewhere down, I think, at something like 40,000 people a year. Last year, we were at over 90,000 people, stayover people for the year. We continue to grow. And as we have properties like this coming on board, it can only get better, more jobs, more people coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A name brand like Sandals and Beaches, the marketing power that it adds to a destination like ours is remarkable.
An investment of over $100 million, employment for hundreds of locals, as well as a large market for local produce were identified by Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Camilo Gonzalez as benefits which will be derived from the operation of the Sandals hotel brand in SVG. Providing some of the details of the contract between the government of SVG and Sandals Resorts International, Minister Gonzalez said Sandals will procure locally produced agriculture and seafood products.
82,000 pounds of pineapples, 48,000 pounds of bananas, 37,000 pounds of lettuce, 555,000 eggs, 8,000 pounds of lobster, 90,000 pounds of fish, 1,400 bottles of beer a day. They didn't mention bitter lemon. A day. 80,000 pounds of rice annually. 90,000 pounds of flour annually. And 70,000 pounds of pork annually. I want the farmers and the fisher folk to understand that a massive market for your produce is now sitting in your midst.
Minister Gonzalez said over 800 locals will be employed during the construction phase and another 900 when operational. The finance minister also highlighted the financial benefits from value added and excise tax.
Said that in the construction of this facility, they will employ over 800 locals in the construction of this facility. And once it is complete, it will employ over 900 locals. That's Vincentians. That's not talking about the people that they import to provide expertise and the like. 900 Vincentians employed here, 800 Vincentians employed in the construction. From the perspective of VAT, they tell us that when they're fully up and running, and I heard Mr. Pompey, the Comptroller of Inland Revenue, giggling with glee when he was told that in VAT alone, $8 million is anticipated to be spent. Many without saying anything about other contracts that have been signed. There are many agreements with major hotels that exempt them from VAT all around the Caribbean. But $8 million in VAT will be spent. Similarly, there are a lot of agreements that exempt them from excise tax, but over $500,000 of excise tax will be generated.
The finance minister also highlighted some of the spin-off effects the resort will have on the local economy.
By this facility, between 25 and 34 million US dollars will be spun off in the tourism sector, not generated directly here by employees, but they're talking about the taxi drivers and the tour operators and all of the ancillary services that support a major tourism facility of this size. The utility corporations will get over $3.5 million US dollars annually, electricity and water. And the departure tax, notwithstanding the very wise reduction in the departure tax by the Honorable Prime Minister, the departure tax generated by the guests of this facility will exceed $500,000 US dollars annually.
Advanced video monitoring systems using CCTV cameras installed at strategic locations on mainland St. Vincent are now in place to help the SVG police force with its crime-fighting measures. The E-Bus and Security Operations Center at the Kettles Police Station was launched on Tuesday. The project is a collaboration between the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of China and Taiwan. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
164 CCTV cameras have so far been installed and are all connected to the operations center at the Kettles Police Station, where real-time videos are monitored 24/7 by trained staff. The project falls under SVG's Intelligent Bus Management and Monitoring System. Speaking at the launching ceremony on Tuesday, Commissioner of Police Colin John outlined how the high-tech systems will help the SVG police force fight crime. He said that crime solving will be evidence-based and that surveillance will also help in making decisions.
For instance, at carnival time or time when there are events of mass gathering, persons who are observing the cameras can observe what's taking place from a particular room. They will be able to capture evidence so that we can take to court to help in the decision-making of the court.
The initiative of the E-Bus and Security Surveillance System to help fight crime was conceptualized 2 years ago by Minister of Finance Camilo Gonçalves. Speaking at the ceremony, the Finance Minister says cameras were strategically placed at locations they considered hotspots for crime and high traffic.
We've installed 85 cameras in Kingstown proper. We have installed 26 so far up the leeward coast. We've installed 44 on the windward coast. We've installed 8 at Argyle International Airport, and we've installed a data gathering camera, car counting camera, which is separate and apart from the ones that we've installed so far. They have number plate recognition, so if your car zooms by at 1,000 miles an hour, the police can freeze the frame and the camera will say that was G7 that just flew by.
More than 200 cameras are expected to be installed once completed on the windward end. Minister Gonçalves added that the 8 cameras placed at the airport will also be used to help clamp any illegal entry.
So that when we populate our database with people on a watch list, people who are bad actors, people who have been ordered by the court not to leave the country, people who are wanted in other jurisdictions, people who are wanted in our own jurisdiction, and they try to slip in or out of the country through the airport, the facial recognition cameras at the airport will recognize that individual and flag that individual, and the police will be able to act accordingly.
There are 8 screens and computers at the surveillance center, which will be manned by staff who will work on a shift system. More than 100 persons received training, which was conducted by IT experts from Taiwan. Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Calvin Ho, says the center is not only a symbol of high-tech cooperation between SVG and Taiwan, but also an important milestone for the two countries.
Maybe to some extent, some people will maybe think that, oh, that's maybe not a big thing, but that's a big thing. Because when the country go forward to make people feel they are respected, feel happier, is very important.
Prime Minister Dr. Razo Gonzalez was also on hand at this ceremony and helped with the unveiling of the plaque for the Operations Center. Speaking at the ceremony, he expressed gratitude to Taiwan for making the project a reality.
A lot of money, $2.4 million US. That's approximately $6.4 million EC. It's a huge amount. And the Republic of China and Taiwan putting up 1.67 million US. And the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines putting up 732,000 US dollars.
The second phase of the SVG Intelligent Bus Management and Monitoring System project will be the rolling out of the e-bus that will see more than 200 buses installed with camera devices and apps to track them. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Watches and warnings for SVG are expected to be issued from tomorrow as Tropical Storm Gonzalo strengthens. Gonzalo is the first tropical storm this season to form in the so-called main development region of the Atlantic Ocean between Africa and the Lesser Antilles. This system is located well over 1,000 miles east of the southern Windward Islands, moving west. Gonzalo's tiny size and the environment around it poses a major forecast challenge for its future intensity. Strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days, and Gonzalo is expected to become a hurricane by tomorrow. The SVG Met Services said the estimated minimum central pressure is 1,000 millibars. Showers, thunderstorm activity and gusty winds are expected across SVG later this week, and intensity is expected to increase on Saturday as the center of Gonzalo approaches. Model guidance is indicating rainfall accumulation in excess of 80 millimeters or 3 inches through early Sunday. The Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, has defended the ministry's position to relax some of its health protocols and allowing the resumption of international flights to the country, even with the ongoing threat of COVID-19. In a statement last night published on his Facebook page, Minister Brown said that SVG is in a better position to deal with any eventuality compared to when it recorded its first case of COVID-19 in March. He said in keeping with the World Health Organization's guidelines, the ministry and other government officials felt SVG was ready to relax some restrictions and resume international flights.
Basically made sure that we could answer yes to the 3 questions the World Health Organization said we should ask ourselves when contemplating an ease of restrictions. The questions are: is the epidemic under control? Yes. Can the healthcare system cope with a possible resurgence of cases that may arise after measures are relaxed? Yes. Is the public health surveillance system able to detect and manage cases and contacts and identify resurgence of cases? Yes.
With the resumption of the international flights, which started on July 11th, from Miami, SVG's COVID-19 cases reached 50, with 21 active cases. The health minister said the new cases were anticipated, hence advanced preparations were made in the country.
We anticipated this possibility and were prepared for it. You would realize that before us approving the resumption of flights, we ensured that we had in-country testing capacity. We had been doing tests here since June 24th and an isolation center. Our test results are validated by the Caribbean Public Health Agency.
The Minister of Health said there has to be a balance between the controlling of the economy and controlling COVID-19. Meanwhile, Minister Brown said that the revised travel protocols were properly managed and is hopeful that full compliance will be upheld. However, he said that the suspension of flights from the USA is still being considered.
Individual may be subject to quarantine will be determined on a case-by-case basis by the medical officer of health with regard to point of origin and ultimately risk profile. A suspension of American Airlines Flight 945 to take effect after July 25th is being contemplated.
The latest figures from the ministry shows that there are 235 pending results with 319 persons in quarantine. To date, 1,443 tests were carried out. Chief Operating Officer of the Medicinal Cannabis Authority, the MCA, Terrell Mapp, said the SVG cannabis industry has been resilient during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mapp's comments came on the heels of a recent online article published on mmjdaily.com, which highlighted SVG as one of the most promising countries to be paving the way in the Caribbean for cannabis cultivation. He noted that while COVID-19 has delayed the commencement of several medicinal cannabis operations, as investors and their technical experts have been stuck in their home countries, reports have shown cannabis's exceptional performance on the international market during the pandemic. The Medicinal Cannabis Authority COO said SVG is the only Caribbean country which has created a special space for local and traditional cannabis cultivators. He said that these cultivators have the opportunity to acquire a license at a very low cost and have been provided training facilitated by the MCA, all in an effort to create an inclusive, modern, sustainable medicinal cannabis industry. Defining the cannabis industry as multifaceted, dynamic, and complex, the COO said that every day presents new and exciting challenges to develop SVG's cannabis industry to international standards. He further emphasized the MCA cannot and should not try to regulate the industry, but rather build strong ties with governmental and non-governmental agencies as they work towards the advancement of the cannabis industry. Mapp, who described cannabis as an extremely lucrative crop, said the cannabis industry can propel and benefit the Vincentian economy.